All right, so today we're getting into a piece of hardware with a name that's a bit of a mouthful. The Kramer VS-211HDXL.
It definitely sounds like a part number, doesn't it?
It really does. But once you get past that name, the 2x1.2 SDI auto switcher, what we're really talking about is, well, it's basically insurance, right?
Exactly. This is the little box that stands between a smooth broadcast and, every engineer's worst nightmare,
Dead air.
the black screen.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to figure out how this thing really works as a safety net. Because in the live world, there's no undo button if a cable gets kicked out.
So this device is kind of like a reflex system for a video feed. It just sits there waiting for something to go wrong.
That's the perfect way to put it, is constantly monitoring.
Okay, so let's get into the main feature. The big selling point is this automatic standby switching. I'm assuming it's a pretty standard primary and secondary input setup.
It is, yeah, but the way it's executed is what's so critical. You feed it two sources. Let's say your main camera is the primary. As long as that signal is live and healthy, the box just, it passes it through.
And the moment it drops.
The very millisecond it detects a loss, it snaps over to that secondary input automatically.
But the part I found interesting in the specs was the recovery. It doesn't just get stuck on the backup feed, does it?
No, and that's the smart part of the design. See, if your main feed dies, you're not thinking about flipping a switch. You're scrambling to fix whatever broke.
You're trying to find the bad cable or reboot the camera.
Right. So this switcher prioritizes that primary input. The second it detects that the original signal is back and stable, it switches right back, all by itself.
It basically resets itself to the default state. That has to be a huge workflow saver. Now, signal-wise, we're not talking about your standard consumer HDMI here. This is built for SDI.
Correct. It handles SD, HD, and even 3G HD SDI. So we're talking about data rates up to 3 gigabits per second. It's designed for uncompressed, high-bandwidth video.
And looking at the unit, I see it uses BNC connectors. For anyone not familiar, why is that the standard for this kind of gear?
It all comes back to reliability. BNC connectors lock. You push them on and twist.
So they can't just be yanked out by accident.
Exactly. Unlike an HDMI cable that can just pop out, a BNC connection is physically secured to the device. It's another layer of that safety net we were talking about.
It makes perfect sense for a box that's all about preventing failure. And despite all this heavy-duty tech, the thing itself is tiny. It's part of Kramer's Digitools line, I think.
It is. It's incredibly compact. You can actually use an adapter, the RK3T, to mount 3 of these side by side in just a 1U rack space.
That's huge for, say, a broadcast truck where every square inch of rack space is gold.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And even though auto is the star of the show, they do give you a manual override. It had a contact closure remote, so an engineer can still force a switch if they absolutely have to.
Okay, let's talk about what this kind of peace of mind costs. The source material we looked at points to a vendor called HDTV Supply. The list price is somewhere around $11,135, but it looks like the street price is closer to $908.
Yeah, and, almost $1,000 for a 2-in-1-out switch might sound pretty steep if you're coming from the consumer world.
It does a little, but I guess you're not really paying for the number of inputs. You're paying for the low failure rate.
You're paying to save the entire show. If this box prevents just 5 seconds of a black screen during a major live event, it's paid for itself 10 times over.
And speaking of the vendor, I noticed something in the reviews. It wasn't just about the product. The name Rachel Christian kept coming up.
That caught my eye, too. Yeah, there was one review, I think, from a buyer in Mexico who specifically mentioned her and the support team.
It just feels rare these days. Buying niche professional hardware is usually such a faceless transaction. Having an actual person's name attached to good service, that stands out.
It really does. It kind of humanizes the whole thing.
So, to pull this all together, we've got a compact, high-speed, auto-switching box with locking connectors that just automates redundancy.
It's a true set-it-and-forget-it device. It's the behind-the-scenes hero you hope you never have to think about.
The best-case scenario is that you never even notice it's working.
Right. And that sort of leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We trust this little box to make a critical decision for a video feed without any help.
Mm-hmm.
So where else in our lives, in our power grids or our traffic systems, are there other automatic standby switches making these split-second decisions that we're completely unaware of?
That's something to think about the next time the lights flicker. Thanks for listening.